Today we shall discuss the normal distribution probability curve. See, the normal distribution curves looks like this. It is a bell-shaped curve, a very symmetric curve on both the sides, also called the curve of probability. Now what thing has to be seen here is the probability ranging from this point to this point is equal to 1. Right? And if I divide this curve into two equal halves and make a vertical line out here, so the probability which will be measured from this point to this point is 0.5, which is half of 1. And similarly, the symmetric side, right side from this point to this point also will be counted as 0.5. In the questions to follow, we shall be using this formula to evaluate the value of z, which will be x minus mu upon sigma. Let us discuss these terms. The mu, which will be the mean, sigma will be the standard deviation of the series, and capital X, it will be the constraint value, which will be very clearly mentioned in the question. Using these three terms, we will be able to calculate z, which will be the first step to solve the question. Now the first question states that the daily income of Mr. X follows the normal distribution, just as I showed you the curve in the previous slide. Given the mean is 2000 and the standard deviation is 100. Find the probability of income. A part of the question is less than rupees 2100. Now we have to find the probability when it is less than 2100. The first step will be the calculation of z. The given in the question is mu, which is 2000, that is the mean mentioned out here. The standard deviation is 100, so we calculate standard deviation as 100. Now x is the constraint value, which is given in the question is 2100. Using these three terms, let us calculate the value of z, which is x minus mu upon standard deviation. So this comes out to be 2100 minus 2000 upon 100, and the answer is 1. So we have to calculate the probability when x is less than 2100. Taking this value of x as 2100, z calculated is 1. So we are converting this equation from x in terms of z. This comes out to be the calculation of probability when z is less than 1. So x less than 2100 means z less than 1. Now we shall make this probability curve to calculate probability of z less than 1. Now as I told you, this vertical line here, this means z is equal to 0. Now we make another straight vertical line demonstrating z is equal to 1. So we have to calculate the probability which needs z less than 1. Seeing at this curve, what is the shaded area showing? This shaded area, this all part is showing the probability which claims to be z less than 1. See, listen carefully. This line shows z is equal to 1. I am supposed to calculate the probability z less than 1. So obviously this left hand side of the curve, this is depicting the area which I am supposed to calculate. This whole area which is just under this vertical line, the already shaded part, I have made it little bit more clear for you. We have to calculate this area, the bell-shaped curve of the shaded area, which will give you your answer. Now the probability from z to 0, z is equal to 0 to z is equal to 1. As I told you, this area probability towards the left hand side of this line is 0.5. This area, the probability is 0.5, right? So I mentioned it 0.5 here. So your total probability is going to become this area 0.5 plus the probability from 0 to z is equal to 1. Z is equal to 0 to z is equal to 1. This area. So your answer will be 0.5, 0.5 which I mentioned you plus the probability from z is equal to 0 to z is equal to 1. Now this probability which will be very well given to you in the question Probability is 0.3413. So for the net answer, I write 0.5 plus 0.3413, which comes out to be 0.8413. I would like to mention that this value, it will be mentioned in the question. It will be given to you. So how did you calculate? You calculated is this area probability is 0.5 and the probability from this area to this area is 0.3413, which will be mentioned. Now adding up 0.5 plus 0.3413 is equal to 0.8413, which is the required answer. Second part of the same question is asking you what is the probability more than 2100. Now in this case, calculate a new Z. Formula remains the same, x minus mu upon standard deviation. X here comes out to be 2100, mu already given mean 2000, standard deviation value is 100. Put in the values, you get Z is equal to 1. Now shift the equation from x to Z. Probability of x greater than 2100 is equal to probability of Z greater than 1. Why do you write it? Because when you put the value of 2100 in this equation, you are getting Z is equal to 1. So because you have to calculate the probability of x greater than 2100, so you will write probability of Z greater than 1. Now coming over to this graph, this area is showing Z is equal to 0. Draw a straight line here which will be showing Z is equal to 1. Now since you have to calculate the probability of Z greater than 1, so the shaded part, this part, you have to calculate the probability of this shaded part. Now how will you calculate? Just as I told you that the probability from this area to this point is 0.5, 0.5, clear? Now, but you have to calculate the probability of only this area. So what you are going to do is, from probability of 0.5, this whole scene, you just subtract the probability of this area. When you will subtract 0.5 from this, probability will get cancelled, you will get the probability of the shaded area. Okay, so what you will write is 0.5 minus probability of Z is equal to 1. Your answer is 0.5 minus 0.3413. This number which will be given to you clearly in the question paper. Answer comes out to be, after subtraction, the answer is 0.1587. Okay, just to repeat, you have to calculate the probability of this shaded area. How will you get it? Probability from this point to this point is 0.5. Take this probability and subtract this area probability and you get the desired result. Question number 2. The daily rent of Mr. X follows the normal distribution curve. Mean given to be 1000 and the standard deviation is 100. Find the probability less than 790. So the first step in this type of equations is to calculate the value of Z. The formula remains the same. 790 minus 1000 upon 100. 790 here is X, 1000 is the mean and 100 is the standard deviation. Your Z comes out to be minus 2.1. Now to calculate the probability of X less than 790 can be written as probability of Z less than minus 2.1. You are just shifting this equation in terms of X to terms of Z. Now coming over to this graph, you can see that this vertical line denotes Z is equal to 0 and this line on the left hand side is showing Z is equal to minus 2.1. Because you have to calculate the probability Z less than minus 2.1, so this shaded area, you have to calculate the probability of this shaded area. How are you going to calculate? As I told you, this region probability is 0.5. This area is 0.5, this area. So what you will do is take this 0.5 minus the probability of Z less than minus 2.1. You will subtract the probability of this area from 0.5 and you will get the desired answer. So the answer is 0.5 minus probability of Z less than minus 2.1. This is 0.5 minus 0.4821. The value of 0.4821 will be given to you clearly in the question paper. Answer is 0.0179, which is the desired answer. Now see, what will be given in the question will be probability of Z is equal to 2.1 is equal to 0.4821. Something like this will be given to you in the paper, and mind it that the probability of Z is equal to minus 2.1 will be the same as probability of Z is equal to 2.1. So even if it is 2.1 or minus 2.1 doesn't matter, because the probability cannot be negative. So whatever is given to you here, 0.4821, you have to put the very value in this equation. Clear? Now, next question states that 2000 children sat for an exam, means appeared for a paper. The distribution of marks is assumed to be normal. Mean is 30. And the standard distribution, standard deviation given to is 6.25. How many children will get marks between 20 and 40? So in this given question, what is given? Mean is given 30, standard deviation is 6.25, clearly given. Now the constraint x. In the previous question, just one value of x was given. Here, two values are given between 20 and 40. So you are getting x1 is 20 and x2 is 40. On these terms, you will be getting two values of z because there are two values of x. So calculate z1 using the same formula. You will get 20 minus 30 upon 6.25, which states x minus mu upon standard deviation. Answer is minus 1.6. And the second value of x is 40. So you calculate the corresponding value of z, z2. This will be on the same terms, 40 minus 30 upon 6.25. Answer is 1.6. Because it was given between 20 and 40, there were two values of x given, so you calculated two values of z. Now you have to calculate the probability of x which lies between 20 and 40. Shifting this equation in terms of z, you will get probability of z which lies between minus 1.6 and 1.6. Now where did you get this term? In the previous slide, we calculate the value of z. Okay, coming over to this graph, this vertical line denotes z is equal to 0. Left hand side denotes minus 1.6 and the right hand side shows 1.6. Now you have to calculate the probability of the shaded area between minus 1.6 and 1.6. So this is equal to the probability of z is equal to minus 1.6 plus the probability of z is equal to 1.6. Now, the probability will be given to you in the question. So, your answer comes out to be 0.4452 plus 0.4452. Answer is 0.8904. So, this is the probability. But the question was asked, how many children will be there between 20 and 40? So, the number of children you have to calculate. What you do is, take the total number of students is 2000. 2000 multiplied by this number probability 0.8904, which will give you 1780.8. Rounding it off, you will get 1781. So this is the number of the children between 20 and 40. Now the second part is more than 25. How many children will be getting more than 25? In this case, x given 25, mu is 30, standard deviation is 6.25. First of all, calculate the value of z. Z is equal to 25 minus 30 upon 6.25. Using the same formula, answer is minus 0.8. So, the probability of x greater than 25 is equal to the probability when z is greater than minus 0.8. Coming over to this graph, this vertical line shows z is equal to 0, right? And the left hand side line is depicting minus 0.8. Now you can see that you have to calculate the probability when z is greater than minus 0.8. So this whole shaded area is your answer. You have to calculate the probability of this shaded area. The probability from this point to this point is 0.5. You get it? Now, and you have to calculate the probability from this point to z is equal to 0 and add both these values. So your answer is going to be 0.5 for this place plus the probability ranging from this point to this point. So 0.5 plus probability of z is equal to minus 0.8. This answer 0.2881 will be given to you in the question. Answer is 0.5 plus 0.2881 is equal to 0.7881. Now, but you have to calculate the number of children. So the number of children more than 25 is equal to the calculated probability multiplied by the total number of students. Total number of students given is 2000. So 2000 multiplied by 0.7881. Answer is 1576.2. You can round it off. Answer is 1576. Clear? Now, the third part of the same question asks you to find the probability between 35 and 40. In this case, two values of x are given, x1 considered as 35 and x2 considered as 40. On the same terms, you will find the two values of z. So z1 will be x minus mu upon standard deviation, x will be 35 minus 30 upon 6.25, answer is 0.8. x2 being 40, z2 will be 40 minus 30 upon 6.25, this will be 1.6. So you have to calculate the probability of x between 35 and 40. Shift the value in terms of z. So this is equal to the probability of 1.6 minus probability of z is equal to 0.8. Coming over to the graph, stretch one line showing the z is equal to 0.8, which is this line. Second, z2, stretch one more line showing z2 is equal to 1.6. And you have to calculate the probability of this shaded area. So how will you calculate? You will take the probability of z is equal to 1.6 and subtract the probability of z is equal to 0.8. Right? See, take this value from this place to this place, this place, this place to this place, and subtract the probability of this area, and you will get the probability of the shaded area. So the answer will be 0.4452 minus 0.2881. Both the values will be given to you in the paper. Answer is 0.1571. Number of children between 35 and 40 is equal to the total number of children which appeared for the exams, that is 2000 multiplied by 0.1571, which comes out to be 314.2. Round it off. Answer is 314 children. So here we come to the end of the article. I hope I have made the things very clear to you regarding the normal distribution curve. In case you have any doubts, please ask me in the comment section. Like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay blessed.